The picks that have kind of defined both games. Syndra, for example, and Jace have been pretty important in recent games, so maybe it's time for a shake-up of the draft. We've seen some crazy things tonight, seen some crazy things this week. Certainly, Jace in every role seems to be working out, so maybe it deserves some respect.
Exactly right. Well, Kongdoo, we're going to switch over to the blue side this time around as Jeanette choose red. Interestingly, it's going to be Malzahar first ban and Rumble first ban on their side as well.
See how this affects the tenure of the series. So far, no bans of champions that were present in our previous game. We've had 2 games in a row of Jinair on blue sides. Now we get to see them on the red side for the first time in a while.
Well, there's the Jace. It's just going to disappear.
First step process to that. And how early are we going to see Syndra drafts, given how this series is going? We saw first round Syndras go largely unanswered in previous games. You feel like Jinair will just run Vladimir if it's available, so you might consider a Vladimir ban and a first pick Graves if you're Kongdoo Monster.
That would make sense. Of course, if the Vladimir is banned, you'd expect a Syndra to be the follow-up, but will it be a Graves ban and then a different idea here for Jinair?
This is basically your threat to say, all right, are we going to be serious? Are we going to ban Syndra finally? You know, this is the juncture to do it, but it would prompt that first pick Graves from Punch.
And what does Jinair get? I mean, they could pick up the Lulu for themselves. Does decently well if you're in a team fight scenario, but Fizz is going to be the ban. So they want to make Kongdoo decide on what they want to do. Do they want the Syndra? Do they want the Graves?
And Ixu's not a Fizz player either, so it's not going to be one of the picks
want the Lulu.
That will flow through, but be surprised to see the Graves not taken at first pick. At least consider their options with Lulu.
She is very, very strong at the moment. Would make some sense.
2 games in a row. 1 win, 1 loss, of course. Interesting. So they give over Graves, and took Punch to the cleaners and then some in game 2 on that Graves.
Yes.
All 80 carries barring the Varus available as well, so no surprise in the Graves being drafted. I guess Ixu could have just let pick it for himself, but gives them longer to think about their top lane pick, or potentially what they will be taking in this second draft choice on the red side.
Yep. Keep things confusing as well. I mean, top Graves used to be a thing.
From Jinair, from Trace.
Yeah.
He's now over at Samsung, though, so waiting for QV to pick that one up.
This is
very early Thresh. I mean, it was respect banned in the previous game, and has always been a staple for Snowflower. If you talk to supports, they basically say, well, you know, you pick Thresh for playmaking, his laning is still loses to basically all the conventional lane choice, like, for example, Lulu, who will just reliably out-trade and more consistently out-trade the Thresh. But if you're Snowflower and you want to play something that you're confident on, you go for the Thresh in this regard. Speaking of confidence, picking himself into this matchup would show quite a bit of confidence from Punch.
Yeah, we'll show you the momentum swing that Kongdoo have gone through after that last game, because I have a feeling that will once again try and invade, see whether he can just straight up kill the Lee Sin.
But now we have the mind games upon mind games. So the history of Game 2, the hubris of Game 2 might have been shifted, but it's not gone. So just seeing how lanes react, just seeing if they take a more proactive pushing mid lane to allow them to react to the potential for the Graves invade, as they've been denied a champion like LeBlanc, who has basically push priority in most lanes and certainly roam priority with the distortion for quite a while, and Edge will jump on the LeBlanc this game. Still the Karma as a potential answer, but one of those kind of mind games upon mind games where does Kuzan feel like returning to the Karma after struggling to kind of stick the landing in Game 3.
But Corki's available, and Kuzan does love to play this champion. He's most played, in fact, I believe, if memory serves, of the regular season, and this has always been one of those matchups that you're pretty comfortable in as the old Corki. He's going to lock that one away. Yeah,
Kongdoo is now basically a LeBlanc-only counters. That one lane where you don't want to go for something ultra-defensive like the mid lane Lulu, like the Karma mid lane that we saw from Faker in the Grand Final. You want to go for something that can duel a bit more freely and push in the LeBlanc, poke her out when she's trying to look for an engage or a pick around a team fight. So different line, something that we saw from Crown not too long ago, right at the end of the regular season. Has been nerfed, of course, in recent patches, but still does the anti-LeBlanc job pretty well.
Yeah. Have been liking it, honestly. Saw Pawn actually use it to great effect against MVP. their 3-0 sweep to get themselves to that semi-final.
Well, that's a lot of top lane bans. 4 from the side of Jin Air, and now a 5th from Kongdoo.
Yeah, we're running out. But the Renekton's still there. Dixu wants to try it. Things like that. Twitch is going to be taken away. I like it. Sol had a great performance even in the games they lost.
The sort of game where he might jump on the Lucian, for example, that was working for him at the end of the season, even though most AD carries in Korea have moved away from the Lucian.
Or will it be the Kalista?
Kalista.
That
Kog'Maw.
was banned away.
Kog'Maw also
yeah, true.
outside chance.
A lot of mixed damage if they pick a Kog'Maw as well. I mean, they could almost pick anything on the top side of the map if they felt like it. Kalista's going to be the final ban, so there it is.
I feel like you kind of have to last pick AD carry if you're Jin Air, much the same way that Kongdoo did in Game 3.
Oh, dear.
You could just try to blind pick a Caitlyn for lane pressure or an Ashe for team comp, but Ashe for team comp did not work in Game 3, so I think moving away either to the blocker Caitlyn pick or something for Ixu is a possibility. Is, well, confidence is always an interesting question. They finally lock in the Ashe.
That feels dangerous. It does feel dangerous. I can understand your apprehension because he was not landing the arrows and was not getting anything done.
Who's playing with fire more? Punch picking the Lee Sin into Graves, or Teddy jumping straight back onto the Ashe? Is kind of an interesting question that we might see answered during the game. As I would like you to point out that Ixu's taking Ghosts, so maybe, upon maybe,
Singed.
That's what you'd think of first. Olaf is another possibility.
Or the Susan.
It's not going to be Nasus.
Oh, I wish. Well, Sol is just going to pick up the Ezreal one more time. He liked this matchup last time we saw it. Chain CC is most certainly there from Jin Air this time.
Blind pick Camille, another champion that Singe could be considered into.
Oh, yeah.
Ixu is a person who's played Singe. We haven't seen Singe since very early in the season. Might just be trolling us with the summoners.
It's a cool idea, but there it is. Oh my god, insta-lock. There it is. Okay. Ixu's like, don't worry, guys. It doesn't matter what you do.
See, the hovers lie, but the summoners never lie. We did the math. It checked out.
Hey, look,
Ghost.
there were 3 options. It could have been the Olaf, could have been the Nasus as well.
If it was Maokai, it might have been the Olaf, but you're not going to draft Olaf into Camille. That's a bad time.
It depends how
It feels like the last time we saw Singed was Huni playing it against Camille. And reminding us that was another potential matchup into the Camille. Well, on patch 7.6, guys, Galio's still disabled. Same patch since the start of playoffs, so the latest round of Camille nerfs are not in effect like they are in, for example, the LPL final coming next week. So
that will be a very interesting precursor to what we're going to be seeing as League of Legends continues, but we are still most certainly back on one of the most established patches that we've had in recent memory, honestly, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, a patch extending for this long a period of time is pretty unheard of for League of Legends, but the way the draft has shook out is going to be the 4-1 comp from Jin Air, hoping that Singe can just proxy and be annoying in the top lane while the rest of the team has triple AD carry and a Thresh to try and take down turrets. So pretty straightforward game there from Jin Air. But LeBlanc can warp this game. If LeBlanc can get kill pressure onto the Singed, it creates a lot of problems, but usually she'll be frustrated in doing so.
And with Kuzan's performance as well, I mean, even in the last game, his Karma was fantastic. Top damage on his team, almost top damage in the game. And Snowflower had a great performance on Thresh as well. I mean, the chain CC in that very dominant game was just utterly ridiculous. So we'll see exactly what is going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4, Jin Air versus Kongdoo Monster. Right now, let's get to it. I'd probably put Jin Air in the driver's seat, as far as that is concerned. Of course, we know that Edge is the driver extraordinaire. However, fans certainly behind Jin Air to see them back in the LCK. Of course, doesn't mean the end for Kongdoo. They'll be going against Ever 8 winners on Saturday. We will fill our final slot and find out exactly which teams are going to be taking part in the LCK for the summer split.
We get an even more fun mini-game in this one. You get your first sighting of the Dank Seal Singed build.
Oh, baby.
We'll see how many Dark Seals he invests into. Usually it's 3, given inventory slot efficiency.
Yep.
Because you want to be able to pick up Catalyst and Merc Treads along with the Corrupting Potion. But it's been a while since we've seen Singed, so maybe the tech has changed.
Oh, Roach is going to poke his head in. You can see Ixu.
Does have AoE of his own, remember?
Yep. Oh, doesn't get any. Unfortunate.
Doesn't mean the level 2 is hit, and means the faster take of the big raptor.
Which is only a bad news story for Punch, who's already taken his red buff. So that's good. This is the change-up.
New pathing from Punch, who goes straight from red buff, not spotted by the ward on the entrance there, and goes straight to enemy blue. So good warding here from Kongdoo. They had wards on the enemy blue. Thus, they're on their own red, sorry. So it's very interesting pathing here from Kongdoo.
Well, Punch is going to successfully be able to grab a couple of his buffs. First Drake is going to be the mountain there. As Punch heads back over, we'll just head on to his Raptor camp. And a much better start this time around in game number 4.
Yeah, Punch trying something new, and with the extra level 1 investment, which remember, he was lacking so much team help in his jungling that Umti is a bit bamboozled to find that his blue buff is down. Yep. Ward on the enemy red, placed by Kongdoo Monster, is what gave them access to that blue buff, knowing the exact route of Umti.
And Umti, can he make it to the enemy blue buff there as well? You saw intelligently by Ixu, heads towards that, gets a ward down. They'll know exactly when this Lee Sin's going to come over, try and take that one down. We'll see whether it is going to be Edge that gets handed a very early blue as well to help him in the early stages of this lane, which can be difficult against the Corki, who spikes very quickly at level 3.
Yeah, Jeno seemed to have just been a little bit too defensive in their level 1 start. Didn't really get any answering vision of their own, and you start to see why this Corki is a popular pick into the LeBlanc. Pop the Gatling gun, and the low resists on the LeBlanc, and she is going to be blown over. Spotted out here is Umti.
Yeah. He can just quick draw his way over there, of course. So he gets himself out, just wastes as much time of that bottom lane as he possibly can. Now he's going to head back up.
Going to be about half a level behind Punch in this game, which shows definitely on the other foot, but not in the same emphatic way it was in game 2.
Yeah. But it is an effective 3-buff start here for Punch. Obdi, of course, not too worried about mana. It's not exactly the end of the world for this guy, but still, massive change. So you can see clearing things out, losing on farm, but now just going to head back to base, grab as many of them dank seals as he can. And there's the Valkyrie. Kuzan gets out of the way of the chains, and he should be absolutely fine. No flash necessary. Punch unsuccessful gank there in the mid lane, but a fair bit of damage pressure onto Kuzan, who doesn't have any more charges of that Corrupting Potion remaining.
Speaking of Corrupting Potions, Ixu picks up his own.
Oh god, there it is.
With the second Dark Seal.
This is the first time that I've cast the old.
Yeah, that's what I
Seal
said.
Singe.
We
It's good.
get to see it.
I'm excited.
We were denied Singe for the longest time. It was like a week 1 to 3 thing, and then everyone was like, okay, maybe Singe isn't good.
Yeah, this is just silly, yeah.
We'll just ban Camille, let's be fine, don't worry about it. But Ixu's always had one pick that's been his staple that's kind of edge of the meta. Hecarim was his previous big pick.
Oh god.
Kuzan takes a lot of damage.
So Edge may not be able to afford to outdive just yet. Oh god. Okay, here we are.
See, it's really fun to cast and play the Singed part, but when you're getting proxied, it's pretty much the worst feel.
Yeah. And the fact that if you kill him, he's like, haha, you had to invest into killing me, feels bad for you.
Or if you have to max W as Camille to match wave clear, you're happy as well, given that Q has been the established max for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, Guga takes a lot of damage on the bottom side, has to use the exhaust. That is going to be summon a spell advantage here for Jinair as the fun times continue. Top side of the map.
Punch put a ward down on the Wolf camp. Knows what's going on.
He's running out of blast cones. Unfortunately, but he
Truly
has.
a first one, probably.
But he can now pick up his third Dark Seal. Continue heading toward... Oh god, and boots as well. Movement speed, pretty good stat for the old Singed, but gets it with his ultimate. So he doesn't need to worry about investing too much, but will like to have it now. Level 6 has been hit. So he's got the potion. He's ready to go.
Gonna do his Singed thing. Catalyst into Righteous Glory and Merc Treads. Maybe Ninja Tabi, but Merc Tread's always been so craved for Singed ever since he had CC reduction taken away so long ago.
Yeah, Chain's gonna land here. Kuzan takes so much damage, stands his ground. That was terrifying.
Can't tell if he was confident or foolhardy in that particular standing of the ground.
Yeah. Or whether he just left his keyboard. Said, no, I'm done here. Can't afford the Hex Drinker, which is unfortunate, but gonna head towards his Phage. Try and get that second item. Trinity Force after just the Hex Drinker is completed, which is the general choice.
The lane's going better than expected for Edge, who's forced 2 recalls before the packages are left available.
Yeah, I like it. There's a fling on Roach. There's Xu says, well, look at this corrupting potion. Look at how much it heals me now. Numpty says, well, you continue about your silly way, monsieur.
You ascribe a lot of inner monologues to champions.
I like to personalize my League of Legends games, Papa Smithy, even if it is blatantly untrue. Kuzan easily able to clear out that wave. Wants to be able to grab his blue buff as well. Decent stun there from Roach, who's taking some damage, but not too much.
Every time I see Ixu just use his fling for harass, you wonder if Roach will pull the trigger on the Hextech ultimatum.
Yeah. But remember, the ultimate is still there from Ixu, who can get a whole bunch of that health back, so probably still playing with fire isn't as much of a big deal.
Yeah, Sin's only way to proc the Courage of the Colossus is the fling, so it might just be for the shield and the trade.
Yeah. Ooh. Only that hook was 1 link longer.
We've learned anything from solo queue, only as good as your last hook, Atlas.
Oh god. Pop Smithy, it's happened.
Has it?
We've got full build Singed!
Yeah, 6 items.
Oh, all he needs to do is upgrade his
Wait,
boots
he actually
and get
bought a
one
fourth
Magi's.
Why did he buy a 4th one?
Because he are not afraid of anyone.
Well, I think the 4th one's a bit silly. Could just be a Ruby Crystal.
Well, no, now he goes back and just buys a Magi's Soul Stealer and his Mercury Treads, or his Ninja Tabi, depending on what he wants to grab.
A lot of late game builds in this game. The double Fairy Charm and No Magic Mantle still haunts me from Kuzan in the previous game.
Indeed. Some awkward builds as well. I mean, even Kuzan having to go back and get the just cheeky Ruby Crystal when he was building obviously towards the Hex Drinker was odd. However, see how things do go. If you have a look at how it shakes up, nothing at all as far as scoreline to separate these two teams, but the Jin Air way, which is, you know, cause Singed to be frustrating, is working.
Singed, teleport ward already placed. They're looking for the grand turret dive in the bot lane.
And there is no package, remember. Kuzan doesn't have that available, as Jin Air have got this one forward. Snowflower predicting a juke, doesn't get it. Shatter set up. Kuzan not going to be procced upon by Edge. Xu just being annoying. Oh, and the back's actually successful here as Oh No Soul now completely on his own. They're going to need to actually stop him from backing, and they do so. Teddy walks on over. Down comes Snowflower. So this could actually be an opportunity for Jin Air to get quite a decent way ahead by denying a minion wave from Sol, who now doesn't have a friend.
They've been thinking a lot here, Jin Air. They've prepped this for a long time. It's why you see Lee Sin ping on going to top lane. Consider actually taking down Singed before he teleported. Sol has very limited wave clear, so they lose half turret HP, but no more. On the side of Kongdoo.
But giving up the position of their jungler means that something could possibly erupt on the top side of the map. There's a back out from Punch. Knows exactly where it can head back towards now, but Jin Air do have that vision set up. They do have all of those wards available to them if they do want to be able to set off this trap. Ixu probably never wants to leave his lane.
Nope. He's got Boots 2 and 4 Dark Seals.
He's finished his build, man. He never needs to go back to base.
Nope.
No, just to get recharges on the corrupting potion. That's it. Done.
Speaking of never going back to base, Kuzan would love to shop sometime soon.
Yeah, his awkward items are making him feel uncomfortable and awkward. Xu is going to take a wander, but ignores Roach, as he does.
It's always awkward as a Corki when your item build resembles a Shen who's going to build Spectre's Cal and a Tiamat.
That is too appropriate.
It's a hard knock life.
I feel like someone needs to gank this lane. I want to see all of those Dark Seals go up to a 2. So excited.
You don't get the bonus stacks, sadly.
No, but they still do all have 2s on.
They do.
Boom.
He's just walking around. He's got so much early game power that he can do whatever he wants.
Do you think it's worth, Papa Smithy, if you are feeling pretty good as a Singed in your position, to keep a Dark Seal and a Magi Soul still?
No.
Stack them both at the same time?
No. Don't even think about it. Burn it with fire.
Of course I think about it, Papa Smithy. I think about all sorts of stupid things that you can do in this game. It's my job.
It's true.
Teddy going pretty aggressive onto Sol, but Guga once again with the shields. Lulu play has been very, very good. Like we mentioned, last series that they played, they were looking damn good. The last 2 games, and especially Guga, 95% kill contribution. Right place, the right time. Something that we used to attribute to Gorilla in his heyday. Excellent at just knowing the map. That was certainly Guga in that series.
Not so much. Gorilla this season on Longzhu, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not a lot to be happy about there for that squad, even though they had a really nice start.
Okay, Kuzan, chill out, man.
The build's starting to come together. Trinity Force, the rotations will start. Hell, even before Trinity Force, you can see Ashe and the rest of the bot lane rotating mid lane.
Yeah, they're just looking for an arrow. There's the package flying through. And he gets the kickoff in the end. Ixu just flinging him back. Running out of minions, but they do get more than half the health on this turret. Oh. Okay, so Brown doesn't quite find the hook. Kuzan says, well, that was a sacrifice. Goes back home, see whether he can actually afford that Zeal.
The turret was prepped earlier. So now both mid lane and bot lane have got a little chunk in. So standing gold, I guess you would say, for Jinair to achieve. But for now, no big pick. Still no first blood in the game at 13 minutes.
Do you feel like watching Singed is like watching someone who doesn't actually know that there are other people in the game with him?
Oh, he's certainly playing his own game. He's playing single player.
Yeah.
I feel the same way when I have an Nasus on my team.
Yeah, it's sort of like
he could teleport, or he could get another 30 stacks, you know?
It's like where League of Legends becomes Skyrim for a moment. It is good though, you know? This is the kind of game that there's something for everyone.
This feels like a game of golf.
What, the worse you score, the better?
Yeah.
Well, that's actually very true.
I mean, both these teams would love golf.
Very slow.
I mean, I think Kongdoo were like 30 under par. They were doing great.
Oh, yeah. But at the moment, they are most certainly playing same strokes per hole.
It's true.
You could say. Kuzan to the back. Ooh, nice shatter. Kuzan does need to be careful. He's decided to forego the prospect of grabbing that Hex Drinker. Heading straight towards the Infinity, the Trinity Force.
Soul's been liking the Western build that we see in the LCS regions a lot. Tier into straight up play the Ruin King.
Yeah.
A lot of different schools of thought on when to build items, but with Blade at its current power level, it's jumped past Sheen and Trinity Force and become that much earlier purchase. Did the same thing in the previous series.
True Shot Barrage going to be used just to get some pressure on this bottom side of the map. Umpty's coming down, but Soul will probably be more than gone by then. Decided to get that back in. Blade of the Ruin King looks to be the purchase when he goes home. Roach going to get flung, but it's just some annoyance here from Ixu, who's sold one of his Dark Seals now and has that catalyst that you were referring to.
Not a lot of gold fall off. One of the reasons why you can go for the 4th Dark Seal is that it actually sells back pretty well.
Oh yeah.
You don't actually lose a lot of gold when you sell the Dark Seal compared to something like a refillable potion, for example. So, was that bit of immediate power and the extra mana and thus health could have been relevant in turret dive, but it wasn't. That's why he now has the catalyst. So the build's not going to change. Yeah, Camille has a lot to talk about, apparently.
Yeah. Of course, spamming emotes against a Singed, it feels a little bit better, you know? You feel like you're getting the trolling in yourself.
Well, Singed gets the bonus one, because
yeah,
of
I know.
course.
He laughs every time he flings. He
does.
So cool. That was my favorite patch note, I think, of all time.
Hey, Riot's gotten full memes for most of them recently.
Ixu's just decided to pop his potion and run under the turret.
He's got a little regen coming through, and he does have a jungler on his side. Will be spotted by a ward if he jumps over, but considering the turret dive, yep, spotted out.
Yep. He clears that. Camille is going to go back home. So it might mean some pressure here on the top side of the map. Everyone else on Jin Air's side is just playing very defensively, apart from Teddy, who knows that no one's hanging around, and Snowflower's playing point for him up this river. Suna heading back, and Umpty on a ward. He's going to be spotted by a punch. Q doesn't land, but good to delay the Graves.
Righteous Glory is completed on the side of Singed. Pretty slippery lineup, really, to fling, if you consider on the side of Kongdoo Monster. You can catch Roach mid-hook shot, which is definitely a possibility in the later fights, but that might just give him an easier initiation. Don't really know who you're going to catch. Back in the day when you were thinking, you're basically looking on Mobify or whatever website about what to counter the Singed, right? It was always Kayle and Lulu were the kind of terrors of a Singed life, just because they had a speed up of their own and a slow and decent trade damage.
I feel like you've got to fight annoying with annoying when it comes to Singed.
Yep.
Roach is going to do his very best to try and combat this. Trinity Force is completed, though. That's a big power spike here for Roach.
Doesn't expect just Cal to kind of shrug off the damage, though, so even the base damage is pretty formidable.
Yeah.
Kuzan's there to cover. He has the package in hand this time.
Look at this, Jin Air, that early work that they put in of that bottom outer turret is now finally paid off as Teddy takes solo gold from that takedown. Almost has his Hurricane done. Mountain Drake is not being considered as now the mid lane turret is the possibility. Umpty in trouble, takes another turret shot actually as Edge really wanted to proc that Shadow, but not going to be able to do so. The chain lands onto Teddy, oh my god, Punch now just going to get flayed back and Teddy flashes, oh my god, Punch picks it up and should be able to escape. Soul gets hooked somehow and Ixu just powers his way in. Guga's going to get taken down as the whole bottom lane is now dead. And that Singed entry was brilliant. In comes Roche to do the same thing, though. He gets hooked back. The ultimatum's there, but Kuzan able to pick up the kill on the jungler. Punch falls, and Roach now in trouble. And they'll be able to grab this turret as well. So despite Roach doing basically the same thing, it's just not the same.
Well, all the cooldowns were down, Atlas. They were used in the initial skirmish. That's when Turbo Singed rocks up with Righteous Glory and Ghost, and there was nothing left to slow him down. Hard to say how many future fights that will happen, but in this one, very, very effective. They take the turret, they take the kills. Consider that Chain is now down, and he's almost dead. But Lee Sin also has used everything to take down Ashe. So actually, it's the one time recently where you could actually get value out of Sin. He runs and goes in, and look what cooldowns are used on him. Nothing. He has no slow or any other form of CC used. By the time the tether does finally grasp through, the damage is done. So Ixu makes the faster rotation. Roach is overconfident, I would have to say, jumping in at 2/3 health against 5 people.
Yep.
4 people, I should say. They get the mid lane turret. Advantage Jin Air, but more and more farm is being traded between Camille and Singed. Camille's actually winning in CS, because of course you don't win in CS when you're proxying, you just win in pressure. Jin Air needs to take some turrets, needs to keep pushing because the Camille is free farm.
Oh, massive teleport play coming in from Kongdoo Monster, though. They get the double into the back line as Edge doing some work, but Teddy's already taken down the Camille. His life is being traded, but Umpty's here as well. He's got a lot of damage. Guga's possibly in trouble as now Kuzan's going to turn up. The big one is going to be enough collateral damage to soften these targets, and look at the AoE from the Corki. Soul possibly going to be taken down, but has to use the flash. Edge uses his. Snowball gets the flash play, but good safeguard. Gets Punch out, and my god, the chase till the ends of the earth. There's Kuzan grabbing the kill, and he still wants more. Oh my god, that was so close. But Jin Air, statement attack on the top side.
Yeah, the double teleport, not good enough. Once again, Roach exploded. First kill of the particular engage, and the trade was no way good enough for Kongdoo Monster. Feels like Roach on an unfamiliar role, going for these pressure laners. Miscalculates the Camille that understandably not many people got a lot of competitive games into. Hell, even solo queue has been banned very frequently, and he's gone full DPS and then gone engage. It feels like the item build is built for split pushing, and his mindset is to look for team fights, and so far they have eluded Kongdoo Monster.
Yeah, it's just not working out. Ixu's now got the double triple on those Dark Seals as well, looking for possibly the Rylai's Crystal Scepter as the next annoyance item of choice. Could be anything, honestly, with this blasting one. But with the fact that Rylai's is a little bit cheaper now, this does suit a Singed lifestyle.
I mean, I'd love to see a death cap. That would just be silly, but amazing.
So good.
But yeah, it's
like
almost
when you get the Rumbles that build first, like second item death cap.
And one of the reasons why Rylai's is a great choice here is that when you think about champions that were nerfed by Rylai's, you think single target. You think Vladimir and Cassiopeia that had short cooldown single target abilities that got the maximum value of the slow. The slow being agnostic of being single target or AoE, and being cheaper. That sure, 6 items, you think about selling it because it's not as packed with stats as it was before. But as a rush, as we see here, from Singe, the second item, it's cheaper than it was before. It's easily accessible, and hell, if the Singe can run faster than the rest of the enemy team, which we've already seen is very possible, the slow will be very useful.
Yeah. And now, like you said, just purchased, so nicely done. It's a cheeky Brawler's Glove picked up by Kuzan, but has now transitioned that into the Zeal, most likely heading towards the Rapid Fire Cannon, which will make his life in those chases that we were talking about before much easier with the periodic extra range on the auto attack.
I gotta ask
if it's
you,
powered by the old Shinarino. What?
Can you think of 3 other adjectives to describe a Brawler's Glove purchase? So far you've called it cheeky. What else could it be?
Casual?
What's a casual Brawler's Glove? Right?
Well, you just have a casual.
Is that when
Brawler's
Yasuo
Glove.
gets first blood?
Umpty's got a casual Brawler's Glove.
I guess when Yasuo gets first blood, he might buy a casual Brawler's Glove.
Yeah, yeah. Or when he like comes to like, you got the optimistic Brawler's Glove as well, which is when you start Brawler's Glove, which is just silly.
The only non-traditional item start we've seen from an AD carry was Deft starting Dagger. Dagger AD carry.
That's
on
an interesting
Kog'Maw.
one. Kog'Maw, okay, that makes sense.
Ended up going Trinity Force first. That build's been largely abandoned, but he did start Dagger. I was taken aback.
I could imagine that you get
the Observer's
Singed
really
cam.
into Singed.
Let's do it. Surfer Singed, also a fantastic skin, guys. Get yourselves into the shop. Hang on, I don't need to do that anymore.
No sellout, boys. We're over here at OGN.
Still do. I do love that skin. It's fantastic. There's Teddy. There's a mechanical bow making way too much noise.
Make sure to plug our website as well. We don't have a website.
I was like, Bobby, I didn't get that one in my first day. You know, oh, we're okay. We're okay.
Gotta try your cookhouse.
You certainly got that memo, sir.
Yep.
But speaking of trolls, Kuzan, throw some packages at people if he wants to. This could mean the start of some potential engage. Sol, you can see, taking some cheeky autos. You do have to respect the man with 4 gigantic rockets beneath his Earth. Oh, Earth's a weird word. Sorry, that sounded strange. It's been a long night, ladies and gentlemen. As in goes the arrow and lands onto Sol as well. Teddy turning around his Ashe performance completely, and now Kuzan able to run riot after everything throws down. There's the flash. And I like to think that that's a rapid fire cannon auto attack in the making. He's able to pick up that kill, but he doesn't have the item yet. So it's not, in fact, the case. And now with the bottom lane dead, possible Baron, Papa Smithy.
Yeah, they're definitely going to turn on to it. Still triple AD carry. We talked about it for turret killing. Baron killing does a great job too. Still the smite available from Punch. Same level as Umti. We've seen heroics before. It's from Punch last time. So Umti last time.
Snowflower's going to have to get the best play in history. And he actually flashes over just to try and get this one down. Umpty's going to take the Baron, but can Kongdoo Monster get this in the end? No, they definitely can't. Umpty is going to be able to take down the mid laner and the Baron. There's the blast cone into the flay from Snowflower, whose Thresh has looked utterly magical. And Teddy holds onto the heel until the very end because he knows who he owes this game to, and it's Snowflower. Not going to let him die.
Snowflower's been wonderful on the Thresh, making it work despite it not being the strongest lane choice. Get out of lane, and you can see what Snowflower is capable of. But Kuzan also going for the Corki, going for the more optimistic and offensive of anti-LeBlanc tech, and making it work. 4-1 and 5 in this game. Well, Punch thought he'd have a chance, but decided by Snowflower that nope, there would be no certainty to that. And you wondered about a turnaround. Well, on both sides of the fight, the damage is just too much to bear for the side of Kongdoo Monster. Would have been sad if Snowflower went down, but Teddy was not going to let a man die. Still had heal available. Comfortable stuff for Jin Air, and they're knocking on the door of LCK Summer 2017.
Yeah, have to say as well, I mean, we questioned Teddy picking up the Ashe. He did not look good on it in game number 3. There's no two ways about it. Kongdoo Monster really made him suffer for his choice, but he's been landing key arrows in this particular game. The opposite performance than what we saw And Edge, he's finally managed to get on that LeBlanc pick that has been denied of him all 3 previous games and hasn't looked like the player that we were expecting. His 6-0-6 performance just a thing of the past, and we're getting the 0-1 and 2 that we had in game number 1.
Yeah, when you're behind in items as LeBlanc, when you invest into the Gunblade, which is good at split pushing, which is good as a rush, you know, it's already starting to lose its effectiveness in terms of team fight burst. There's really not too many good things left available for Kongdoo Monster. Sure, Roach can split push a single turret down. But the triple AD carry we spoke about's got Baron now, so good luck keeping those turrets up.
Yeah, and a hook lands on a punch there as well. Arrow comes in, that's an explosion. And in the middle of it was Lee Sin, who is so dead, it's ridiculous. Oh, that was very cute. Basically the opposite target.
Basically an orbital strike coming out from
yeah.
the members of Jin Air. Side that Lee Sin was anointed for death, and Punch died instantly. Seeing some damage coming through at least from Edge. He's walking up, still feeling confident as Ixu's gone for a merry walk.
Yep, the classic singed way. Minions are still passing through on the bottom side of the map, so hasn't necessarily completed that shove. And now finally Roach has picked up some form of defensive item. Ixu's just dodging everything. Still taking a bit of relevant damage, but with that Warden's Mail there, Spectre's Cowl as well. He's feeling somewhat comfortable. No more Dark Seals available, and there's the teleport immediately on his way back as they're trying to set up this siege. However, Ixu now with the home guards, just going to run his way through. Wow, that was a weird interaction.
Hookshot priority ended up in the end.
Yeah. So there's the question answered, but that's still going to spell the end of this turret as Edge throws in the Mimic. Gets himself back to his distortion, though. Now Ixu's going to get chained. And I'm just not going to talk about the Singe potentially dying, because I just don't think it's going to happen.
Nope, doesn't even need Merc Treads. Not worried about CC duration is Ixu in this game. Confidence pick from him. Basically picked blind in that he was already ready for the Camille. Ready to roll. Ghost selected as the summon spell onto Singed.
Yeah.
It's been a good Singed performance. He's had the pressure he's needed to. We haven't really called out Roach's name except to wonder about some of his engage options on teleports, because the split push hasn't been a thing, because they haven't had the map pressure, because when the rest of your map wins and Singed is proxying, it's the best feeling in the world if you're a Jin Air fan.
Oh, yes. And when you've got so many other tools as well. I mean, Kuzan was set up to win his lane. Snowflower has been phenomenal, even in lane, on this Thresh. So despite that lane advantage that you'd theoretically imagine an Ezreal Lulu would have, it's just not the case. And Teddy stepped up his play completely. So they really have made sure that they allowed for this Singed pick as well. I mean, intelligent draft from Jin Air once again.
And making the most out of having 2 top laners. Very different champion pools, but this time we see the Ixu side, and the Ixu side's been doing well.
Oh, arrow lands on the Mimic to LeBlanc.
He actually flung it as well, but getting the shield was probably the biggest priority there for Ixu.
Yep. A few cooldowns now unavailable here for Jin Air as they continue this siege. Still a heck of a lot of poke, what with volley, with rockets as well.
All the easy objectives gone, but no minions pushing in the top lane or mid lane means that this is just a single lane mission for Jin Air. They probably should consider retooling and approaching from a different direction.
Yep, they do have all of the vision available as well, so they can easily move over. But look, the lanes are pushing back in favor of Kongdoo Monster, so out of time are Jin Air. This particular push, Teddy will head back in, but Edge should make his day a little bit frustrating. However, throughout all of his cooldowns before the Ashe arrived.
It's smart of Jin Air to back away. They don't need to play one lane. When you're really losing the game, you play one lane, hope you'll get a miracle pick, and end the game. But when you're winning by 10,000 gold, let's get the 6th man, the minions working for you as well, and then return to what you were doing.
See that top lane actually going down very, very low, but Jin Air still looking for a pick here in the mid lane. It's Ixu running at Edge as quickly as possible, but the chains thankfully land. Has he actually created enough distance? He has, but has to use the flash in order to do so, and Roach now looking for a possible follow-up engage, and the redemption keeps Jin Air healthy. This is dangerous. 8,000 gold now the lead for Jin Air, who are moving back towards this Baron pit just to make sure they have soul vision. Back up in 1 minute's time.
Yeah, no margin for error whatsoever for Kongdoo Monster. They are just a team fight loss away from being forced to face ever 8 winners in a single best of 5, elimination best of 5 in 2 days' time to decide who the final member will go in. Jin Air wants to get that story written today. They want to have their name inked onto the contract of teams playing in LCK Summer 2017, and they've done the hard work. The first 2 games were impressive. sideways step in Game 3, but Game 4 has been a return to form. Game isn't over yet. Even 10,000 gold, or 9,000 I guess, may not be enough, but so far Kongdoo haven't looked like they had the real engage to make use of the Camille pick.
Yeah. Well, in goes the engage onto Ixu, but Jin Air, they've found Roach, and they are going to kill him. Look at that extension of all of the CC. Snowflower is actually going to be the one to pick up the kill, and honestly, I feel like he deserves it. Lands the hooks, lands the flays, does the most buttons that do stuff, Papa Smithy. That's what I like to think.
It's in a 45-second window. Now, they're going to lose wards, like control wards around Baron, so Baron Rush actually becomes quite difficult. So they invested a lot into killing the Camille, and it doesn't really gain them much. In fact, it lost them supremacy around the Baron. Getting a pick always feels good. It's more gold, but it's what they do with the map and how they set it up that really will take them over. It's 20 seconds on the respawn for Roach, but I think it's more about the Singe coming in for more picks.
Yeah, and we'll be able to fling away the Lee Sin as well. As the Q does land, they're going to wait it out before they burst down this Baron, and Kuzan actually gets over the side. Soul's going to die. Not even sure what he was doing there as Edge now taking so much damage. Punch lands the Q onto Kuzan, but oh my god, that play was magical, and a double kill comes out for Umpty. This Baron is most certainly going to be the next one to fall. Actually, no. Jin Air say, well, we have the prime position. Let's just go straight down the mid lane and take down this inhibitor turret.
That's why Jin Air was smart. The heads-up play is to only use Baron as a playground to turn and get your picks with the Singe, with their other initiation tools. That's exactly what they do. They never actually intended to complete it because they could not keep the Lee Sin away. This will be an inhibitor at minimum for Jin Air Greenwings.
Just beautiful out of this team, and it's like that third game never existed, Papa Smithy. Still looking very, very controlled. If we look back in time, feels like a long time ago now, but that game number 1, Jin Air played their sort of pick and push, early push composition very, very strangely, but still team fought beautifully in the late game. Now with a 10,000 gold lead at 33 minutes in, you have to feel that based on previous results, Jin Air should be able to do it. Kongdoo Monster, they still were able to win game number 3. This will take a miracle, but miracles have happened.
Teams around the world misuse or misplay around Baron as Umpty does a lot of damage.
He does.
They tunnel too hard and get into finishing it. They think, okay, but if we get it, these are all the things we'll be able to do with our comp. But I think the best teams also weigh in. If we fight around it, these are the tools we have to win the game off a couple of picks. And I think Jin Air, with some veteran shot callers, made the measured play around Baron, got the maximum without risk. Finishing the Baron is a huge risk. They could not kill the Lee Sin away that time. They're going to try again. Let's see what they decide to do. They could still turn. Teleport used. Yep. Will they try and finish the Baron?
There's a scrying ult. Punch is in position. Redemption goes in, but now Jin Air turn and take this fight. Soul the first one to die once again. In fact, both of the carries dead instantly. Roach is going to die. That's 4 dead. Punch says, but weren't you going to do the Baron? No, they're not. They're just going to run down the mid lane and win this game.
And some magicians can pull the same trick twice in a row and still get people surprised. Punch just turned the fight into a 5v4, 2 in a row, because he thought that Jin Air would be like a prototypical 9th, 10th place team and misplay around Baron. No misplays from Jin Air. No one will stop them getting back into LCK Summer, and Punch is nothing but a watcher on.
He most certainly is. They are looking to try and kill him, but look at this. Teddy's got his eyes on the Nexus. Will be able to take it down. Jin Air, welcome back to the LCK for the summer split of 2017, and Kongdoo, you're going to have to head down to that lower bracket and take on Ever 8 winners for your final chance to get back into the LCK. We may have both of our LCK teams from the promotion tournament thrown in, but Ever 8 did look good, and this is the only matchup from this whole tournament that we haven't seen yet.